that we feel right now. Oh Lord, it may. Put your hands on, put your hands on.
Hello and welcome to the UK Surf Show. We are your hosts. I'm Pete.
And I'm Mitch, and on today's episode, Rockers, we chat to, and we are stoked about this, one Mr. Jack Bessant, formerly, not formerly, still of the band Reef, and
Yes.
Jack Bessant.
Jack Bessant on this one, and stick around at the end for a little bonus on this one as well. So, here we go.
Let's go, Rockers.
Hi there. Alright guys, this is Jack Bessant, nearly 54 next year, and grew up in Somerset, and here we are in North Devon, and I love it, man. I love the Devon vibes, and great to see you both, and thanks for doing this.
Well, Jack, I mean, firstly, thank you for having us. I mean, I think I'd be speaking on both our behalfs to say we are proper fanboys. We grew up listening to your music and still do, and absolutely love it. So to not only, be hanging out here, having just had a jam with you, but we had a surf today as well, which was mega, mega fun.
Yeah, it's been cool hanging out with you both today. I've enjoyed it, and we had Eric with us as well, which is cool, wasn't it?
We did, yeah.
It's been a brilliant day, and we've been trying to hook up for a long time, really, and do something, haven't we?
Yeah, it must be like
time's right, man.
Yeah, it must be like 2 years or maybe more than that. No, I think it's longer.
Yeah, you got in touch with me quite a long time ago,
Yeah.
but this is the way it is. This is the
Yeah.
way, man. This is the way it says yes today.
Yeah. You can't force it, can you? You just got to let it flow, right?
And we chatted recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And that felt good.
That was great.
And then it's exciting what you've got going on.
Oh, yeah.
Really exciting.
We had such a good chat. It was me, you, and Andy Haddon.
The Lost Shore vibe, man.
And it's going on. We spoke about you potentially coming up and doing some stuff with us.
That is going to happen, isn't it?
And what was really cool, actually, just for anyone listening, is at Lost Shore, we had, so we've got a company that do the curation of our events, a company called Rogue Village, right? They're brilliant, amazing guys. And they had us all sit down, all of the Lost Shore team. At the time, there was like 10 of us, maybe 11. And the idea was that there was like 5 or 6 different questions, right? And it was all aimed at sort of coming, you could answer what you wanted. So if you could have 2 bands, for example, at the opening gig for Lost Shore, like, so you put your bands down, it's all these sort of things. But actually the band Reef came up so much. And actually that at the point, you guys had already been chatting, yourself and Pete.
Yeah, man.
So I remember reaching out. So me, you, and Andy Haddon, our founder, we had a call and we spoke about it. So we know you're going to come up at some point and do some stuff. And I think actually you're gigging up there next year in Glasgow. Is that right?
Yeah, we are. We're doing a festival nearby somewhere, so I'm going to find out where that is. And but no, that'd be cool. I mean, that might tie in and come and have a check out of that.
Totally.
And that and stuff.
Because have you surfed the wave before?
The one in Bristol?
Yeah,
a few times.
How do you
I've done a
find
couple
it?
of solo gigs there as well.
Yeah, I know you've done gigs there.
Yeah, and I've surfed it, man. I really enjoy it, actually. I enjoy it a lot. It's been epic, man. And I like the left too. I like surfing the left. I'm sort of naturally footed, but I enjoy the left actually as well. Right, laugh.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that surf wave gardens a lot, as in staff that surf them a lot, and a lot of people do say they prefer the backhand.
Yes.
And I don't know, for me, I find my backhand, because I've got a dodgy pop-up, so I find it easier to go backhand.
Is it?
Because I can grab real pop-up.
You got a lovely
helps
one
me.
today, man, on the backhand.
I did get
a lovely one,
didn't it?
I mean,
do you know what? We should talk about our newfound longboarder friend, shouldn't we, as well?
Who's that?
This is the guy that normally slates longboarding, hates longboarding, is a shortboarder, blah, blah, blah. Today, Saunton, these lovely, it was little, but they were mellow as well. And it's the smile on his face and oh my God, this is the long. Did you get the longest
you got the longest
right?
wave today, didn't you?
The
You were
thing
miles away. It's like that. You were like, did he like waving? It was so far away. It was lush, wasn't it?
I think it's unfair to say I got the longest wave today. I think it's probably more accurate to say I got the longest wave.
Of your
Leave
life.
it there. No, ever, for anyone ever. And also, just saying, I'm not scared to go left at Saunton on the rocks.
No, not into the rocks. Yeah.
It was good fun, wasn't it?
Do you know what?
It's a great spot, isn't it?
It's a cracking spot. I've only ever surfed Saunton on a shortboard.
Yeah.
And it's obviously hard work because it is even with size, it's quite a mellow wave. So never really got on with it. And actually, that was on the TK log today. What was that?
It's the Tiki's 9294.
Yeah.
I can't think what it's called off
But
the top of my head.
honestly, it just felt right.
Yeah.
The first wave though, because I go to shortboard right all the time. So the first wave, I took off and went into the bottom turn. But like on a shortboard, it's just a case of balance transfer, a little bit of chest movement, toes, heels, and the board moves.
Yeah.
So I kind of forget. You have to relearn the equipment, don't you? So
Yeah,
I've tried
yeah.
to do a bottom turn and like put my whole body into it. My shoulders came round and everything, and obviously nothing
Yeah.
happened at the
Yeah,
bottom
yeah.
section.
Fun.
So something had to give, and I kind of just pirouetted off the board.
Yeah.
I was like, right, okay, I've learned, but it did. It just felt right. It felt
It was
like that
good. It
right
was-
board, right spot, and do you know what?
Beautiful, wasn't it?
Great people. The four of us had it to ourselves,
Yeah, we did.
and it was fun. It
yeah,
was
and like
super
you said
fun.
about the almost like a sunset in the middle of the afternoon.
was
The
weird,
colours of
wasn't
the
it?
sky
Yeah.
was really beautiful.
It
Wasn't
was odd.
So yeah, no, it is a really beautiful spot. Just being out there in the water.
And with the
Soulful.
the
Soulful,
surfing
wasn't it?
It
legend
was.
as well himself, Eric Davis was out there with us.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
surfing with him
Yeah,
was
isn't it? And that was not a lovely experience.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wasn't
Yeah, he's always great to be
I
hanging
tell
out
you
with in the
what,
water.
the way he looks effortless paddling for waves as well, doesn't he? He makes it look
yeah,
effortless.
he knows it. He knows that way.
He was sat next to me and he's just sat there and he goes, there's one coming in now. It's going to be like however long he said it was. And literally to within the seconds
Yeah.
that it turned up, it was there and he was on it. And I was like, what's going on? It's just like he knows that place so well. And I'm not going to say what he he went into a lot more detail and he told me, but I'm not going to say it on here so people can look out for what that is. But he went into so much detail of how he could tell there was a wave coming and where to look.
He was sharing
And
his
then-
vibe with you,
Yeah,
wasn't he? And that's
yeah.
cool.
And it was like, and I was just like, you know, it's like God Himself has given you the. This is the meaning of life, right
Yeah.
here. And they're like, oh
yeah, that's gonna help you out
man,
when
yeah.
you come down again.
Yeah.
That. No, he's lovely, isn't he? It's like I say, it's inspiring and that. And like this film he's just done with Tom Bowman. That's a wicked film.
keep on
Yeah.
keeping on.
Yeah.
It's really. I've already had people because actually when we met Eric, he'd asked us if we'd seen it. And kind of felt bad saying, well, no, I've
It's only
not
just
seen
come-
it.
it's only just
But
come out,
I
yeah.
didn't realise, we were speaking with breakfast this morning, didn't realise it actually came out the day we spoke about it. But it's
Yeah.
had so many views since
it's-
then. And it's
it's-
a great piece.
Yes.
It's such a good piece. And not only, you're talking about Eric knowing, like, you know, just the spots and what was coming and everything else. Everyone else we spoke to said there wouldn't be a wave today.
Yeah. Yes.
But Eric was so like, it's this time, it's this window, and
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
And we went out, and like when we drove down, it looked tiny.
It was crap, wasn't it?
Like there was probably
Earlier.
somewhat. There's probably some chest.
earlier on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was probably some chest to shoulder
he does
sets
know
in
it,
there,
bro,
and he,
bro.
I mean, that's
he knows it.
he really did know it.
Yeah,
And I
bless
think,
him, man.
do you know what my favourite thing from today was?
Go.
Was when Jack Bessant shouts "party wave." It's a party wave. Admittedly, none of us got on that wave, but the
None of us
intention
partied,
was
did we?
there.
Yeah.
The intention was there. It was party out back wave.
Yeah,
That was good fun.
it was fun.
I'm glad we did surf
Yeah, man.
before this because it's all in your mind now. Don't you
Mm,
feel
yeah.
like all those moments are now just glistening
Yeah.
of lush?
Well, I mean, this day in general has just been one of the most memorable
yeah.
days. Like surfing with like the four of us surfing out there, and then coming around here and you playing some of your new music, which we'll talk about later, and then it's going, oh, pick up a guitar, and then we start playing, and then you just start going into a Reef song, and I'm like, this is fucking weird, man. It's blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's good fun, wasn't it?
It's like somewhat like I've listened to like Reef songs since I don't know how old I was. I think I was like 16, around that age, I think, when
Yeah.
it first came out.
Is it?
And
How old you know then?
40, 45 nearly,
Yeah,
44, 45. I don't know how old I am.
You had a hard paper round. You had a hard
You know when
paper
you know
round.
when you get to that age and no one asks you anymore. And
No.
someone
You have to
asks
think
you, you've
about
got to
it,
think
yeah.
about it.
Doesn't
yeah.
matter after 30.
Yeah,
anyway.
but I mean, so you know, the time of it was used on Chris Evans' show when it was like they changed it to "It's Your Letters," wasn't it? And stuff like
Yeah.
so. That sort of time was like a big time in my youth as I was like
Mm.
changing and growing
Yeah,
older and like starting to discover my
know,
own
man.
music.
Yeah.
So then to sit here with you and play that song, it's like,
We jammed it, brother.
yeah,
We-
it's
It was a proper jam, but to put that into more perspective, because today has been epic. We actually said that in the water. We said this is a proper memorable surf,
Yeah.
and we spoke about this a lot recently. How you ask people what their best ever wave was, and some people will tell you where the wave was. That's what they mean. Some people will tell you what they've done on the wave, and some people will just talk about the session. That
Yeah,
session
get
they were
on,
out with
that's
their
a
mate.
good vibe.
And we said that in the water, but this is a proper memorable surf. But to start the day, I woke up this morning, and I'm not a morning person at all.
No.
After 22 years in the army, the morning still doesn't work
you
for
don't want
me.
to be doing that now.
No. So I woke up listening to him smashing a guitar around the living room, and I'm just trying to wake up still. And then my day's finished with you two having a jam playing Reef songs. Like, I mean, started off terrible, and it's got perfect. It's got perfect.
It's the morning singing, you know, when you get that. I still can't get there yet.
Did you guys go out last night or something?
No, not at
No.
all, no,
That's
no.
just mornings in general for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I'm useless in the
It was
morning.
It was late last night because we were down in
yeah,
Exmouth.
you
Said
got
we
back
had a
in the
couple of
South Devon
episodes
vibes.
yesterday. Yeah. And annoyingly, we missed a surf. It sounded like we missed a really good surf.
missed the
down
surf at
there.
Bantham,
Yeah, that's
which was supposed to be epic yesterday.
Oh, was there one at Bamford?
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good yesterday as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
but
have a
the-
sunset session?
We had lovely actually.
Did
yeah,
you?
yeah. It's it's so lush just being in the water with the colour of that, because you sort of stand and you sort of look at the sunset, don't you, for a while, but you never really look at it for like an hour and 20 minutes. So when you're in the water, you're just getting lovely kind of overload of positive colours and vibes.
I suppose we should go back to when you first started surfing.
Yeah.
When did that happen? How did that come
I
around?
first surfed at Coomsgate, which is around the corner, isn't it? Like.
Yeah.
And I was at Stroh College in Street near Glastonbury. I grew up in Cheddar on a farm, blah, blah, blah. I went to college there and just kind of got the surf itch, really. And I think I've always had a bit of a drawn to the sea just from family holidays and that. But obviously, once I could drive, then you can make your mind up what you want to do. And I was like, I want to go down to, I just love it. I just got really into it. And I loved it, and I think that really was my salvation from the get-go. I just love the sea. I'm a nature boy anyway. I grew up on a farm. I'm always outdoors. But then you tie this, the sea into that nature. I'm like, yeah, this is what I really love doing. And then it stayed with me really, and it's still here now. You know, so that's really exciting.
Has it always been longboarding?
Well, no. When I first started, I had shortboard intentions, and I have had different like fish and stuff. I went to Australia and I had a guy make me a fish out there, which was really cool, and I rode that for a while. But then when I had got married and 2 lovely boys and stuff like that, and then pram pushing and everything. After a while, you're like, oh. That sort of shattered those dreams. But another way, I've got a beautiful family. But I tell you what, I do love longboarding. I think I'm a sort of tall rocker and that. And we went, lucky enough, on our second album with Reef, the one with Place Your Hands. And it's called Glow and that. Yeah. We recorded that in Los Angeles. So, we had the chance to go. And then initially when I went out there, I took a shortboard. And after a while, I just went to like a longboard. And I took a guy near here, Blacker, shaped these boards. So I had a triple stringer 9.6 Blacker, quite heavy, and I loved that board. And we had some great sessions at Malibu.
Oh, nice.
And we were so lucky.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. 30 years later since Reef started, I really realised how lucky I've been to have those experiences. And to be places like that, it's like when you look back on it, I feel really lucky actually.
Yeah.
I feel really and I appreciate everything. But longboarding you were talking about, innit? So yeah, I loved it. At Malibu, like longboards and stuff like that. So I've kind of naturally went that way.
Right, yeah,
I like the sort of dance and the feel, and I definitely love the single fin vibe. I love even skateboarding. I love that sort of the hip, using your hip, whether that feel. I don't know, man. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I mean, I've always longboarded, as we know.
You've always longboarded about as much as I've always loved Putsborough.
Pete doesn't like Putsborough, but he famously hates Putsborough. But actually, we surfed Putsborough the other night, and he had the most fun.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah. I
It's
took
cool
out
there,
a
isn't
fish
it?
as well, so yeah.
Pardon? Did
I
you?
took out a fish, yeah.
Get on, see.
So
you guys are mixing it up.
yeah, Tiki have
Yeah.
given us it's like a mid-length fish.
Yes.
So it's like a 7.6,
I think it's a
7.4.
7.6 you were on.
Yeah, 7.6
that's cool.
fish, but it's super fun and it moves like a surf skate as well. It's like
Yeah.
whoa, like that, and it's
You
boom,
good
like
time?
yeah.
Easy
Yeah.
to take off on? Can you
Yeah,
get your
really,
balance and
real
stuff?
easy
That's
to
cool.
take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
To be fair, because I've never seen Pete on anything less than a longboard, like a 9 foot whatever. And he was like, "I'm going to take this fish out," and I was like, "Oh, you're going to hate it. You're going to have a terrible session." Because if you never surf shorter equipment, and it wasn't a big day or anything, was it?
No,
It turned
no.
out to be quite weak actually as well, but. I was kind of politely trying to coax him into taking his log out so he would enjoy the session.
Yeah, I know.
It went out and made straight on waves on that board.
Yeah,
and
well
like,
done,
it was just,
man.
Yeah, it's cool.
it was buzzing
Yeah,
for
that's
him actually. It
interesting,
was,
isn't it?
Yeah, I was buzzing for
I'd like
myself.
to hang out with you guys for a bit longer and try some of these boards out.
yeah,
you've got.
totally.
It's been a good week.
It's been a great week. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. You appreciate it, what you're
But
doing.
it's nice
don't
to be able to mix it up and test other equipment because
you? Yeah, that's super
you've-
cool.
it's a bit like music, right? You can try other
Yeah.
vibes, other jams, and
Mate, I'm still living that dream. And like my son now, well, both my sons, they love surfing, and we were just talking about that, going down and taking quite a few boards down with us, and just bedding in and just having fun. It's like, I don't know, it's just having fun, and it'd be obvious, but stop being so hard on yourself and just have fun, isn't it?
yeah.
That's a difficult thing to do, isn't it?
It is difficult.
It is.
But that's what you're doing. You're just trying out different boards, having fun, and and just like today we made the effort, and we feel good about that. I think, don't we? It was lunch, wasn't it? Good
Yeah,
vibes.
it's been a good day. Good.
Do you know what I didn't like though?
What?
Carrying that bloody board back
With
from
the
car
wind.
park and the wind. That wind was
Yeah, by the time,
horrendous.
so by anyone that knows Saunton, by the time we got out, the wind had shifted to a crosswind across the
It
beach.
was
So
horrendous.
walking back up the beach with that crosswind hitting you, and it's just trying to blow the board sideways all the time. It was
And it could
not
have gone to
fun.
low tide as well, couldn't it? So
Yeah,
you had a massive
yeah.
walk
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
It
So
wasn't
it
too
could
long a
have
walk.
been
No.
worse. It could have.
Been down there before.
Yeah.
And it's just tide's right out, and you're
Yeah.
trying to get back, and you're just fighting the whole way with your board.
Yeah, man.
And your boys, do they surf?
Yeah, they both do. Yeah.
How old did you say they were?
The eldest one's going to be 16 just after Christmas, and the youngest one, Joe, he's like 14 now.
Okay.
So
They're-
yeah, they're both. So we've been surfing a lot together.
They're also skateboarders, very good skaters as well.
Yeah, and this is what's been good hanging out with you both today and that, because know you a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you showed me clips of your skating, and I was like, yeah, you're blooming, that's wicked. I enjoyed seeing that, man. I didn't realise you were that good, to be honest with you. That's wicked.
Because you looked
Cheers.
at them, right? No, you wouldn't assume it.
No, I just don't know. But you showed me the skating earlier. I was like, yeah, rocker. But and you said you've had skate with my sons.
Yeah.
Because one of them was been working at Campus Pool in Bristol
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. One of my sons and
Mm.
that. And we've been lucky enough. I grew up on a farm, and we've still got that farm in our family. And when Duke was the oldest one, when he was 8, we got to build a ramp, so we got a half pipe.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're again lucky, but it's brilliant. And then, friends of ours share it, and it's
Yeah. That
just
looks
come down
super
and
fun.
ride it, brother.
Oh man, I'd love that. It looks super fun.
Yeah, and it's so good. It's so good. It's just good in every way. 'Cause you just get out of the house and you just get on that. It's undercover, but it's pretty fresh with the elements and stuff. And it's just that can sort you out, man. On
Yeah.
there.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Did the
dude.
kids compete in skateboarding?
No, they haven't. They don't. Oh, they've done local. We had a lovely one when we were trying to raise money for a pump track.
Yeah.
And stuff. Then we did a little mini festival for this dude. Bless him. There was a lovely lad in where I grew up in Cheddar. He took his own life. Bless him, man. So we did a really lush festival.
That was the
called
Flan Jam.
Flan Jam,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
So they had a bit of a competition. So a lot of people in Bristol and different
Right.
gave prizes
Mm-hmm.
to give away, and they had a little competition.
Brilliant.
And it was really there was some really good skaters. Like Bear came down.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, dudes, I forgot what we were talking about then.
No, your kids
No,
skating and
kids skating,
and,
yeah.
skating and competing.
Yeah,
and
not competing, but it's just been brilliant growing up with them and skating with them actually since they were really small. Funny enough, we found this old trike bike, and I've got a picture of Duke. He's only about, I don't know how old he is, about 3 months old, but he's strapped into the back with a skateboard next to him like that. He got a trike
Yeah.
with 2 seats on the back. It's such a great picture. Wasn't forcing him, but.
No.
It's a brilliant picture. Do you know what I mean? We're just riding down the skate park. And it's been brilliant, man. And it's just gone by so quickly.
It
I don't
does.
know.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it does.
So quickly. But no, they're cool. They're cool. I'm lucky, man. Yeah.
And what about the surfing? Did you guys get to surf together much, or?
Well, me and Joe, youngest, we did a Reef gig recently near here last year, and then I planned it. So I have a bit of time with my younger one. I've been on a few trips with the older one.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, I'll come with you if we can get in the water and have a surf. So
Mm.
we ended up trucking on down to Sandy Mouth, and then went in at Sandy Mouth. And it was good for him to be in a different break. And it was, the waves you could feel, they were so much stronger, and the water was a different colour, a different feel, different smell, which is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
Everywhere's got this different stuff going on. And then we woke up in beautiful sun in the campsite, and it was no one else was there. It was like millionaires. This is wicked. Down the hill, Sandymouth. Then the sea mist came in. So the whole time we were out there, it was really eerie. We couldn't really
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
but it was wicked experience. Me and my son hanging out, and he wants to do that again,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and I want to
cool.
do that again.
Yeah.
And he's got a good vibe about him, and they both have, man. They're favouring any of them, but he's got a lovely vibe out in the water. Couldn't give it, carefree. It's so nice for the kids to have that experience of just being in the water and let things drop, all these things, just to be out there and enjoying nature and enjoying, me too. I need
No,
that.
I love that. Yeah.
We need that, don't we?
Yeah, totally.
And it's just lush, and it's just, you are immersed in nature in the highest way, aren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, you're connected
You
to
are,
it. Yeah,
you
you're
are.
really connected to it. My kids they're a bit older. They're 17 and 18.
Are they?
My son's 17. My daughter's 18. And I've never wanted to push them into surfing. I've only ever wanted them to do things they want to do. But obviously, I also want them to surf so bad. And maybe, 3-4 years ago, they were like, my daughter was really into it, like big time. And my son, they enjoyed it, but he wasn't that fussed. And in recent years, or probably since last year actually, my daughter's became do you want to go for a surf? And she'd be like, oh no, I washed my hair last night. So, she's turning into a proper adult teenager. But my son, he's really into it now, like 17. So me and him have just been travelling about,
good
chasing
on you,
waves
man.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's still learning, don't get me wrong, but he's on green waves. And do you know what? Probably one of the best days of my life was the first time the three of us went for a surf together.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was coaching at my mate's surf school up in St Andrews. Shout out Blown Away Brothers. And I'd given someone else my camera. Somebody I didn't know because they were getting photos of their kids. And I was like, if you can get some of us. And at the end of the session, I'd stolen a foamy from someone else. And my two kids got pushed on either side of me on a wave. So the three of us ended up surfing together, party wave.
Wicked.
But my son stepped off the foamy he was on and onto my board. So it's
Did
a
he?
photo of all three of us.
And that was on the film.
And it's just like, and I had no idea.
Yeah, that's
Somebody
cool.
somebody got a photo of it. I'll overlay it actually, but it was just the best moment because it's weird. You think of your kids as babies, especially mine. They're 17 and 18. So in my head, they're still.
Well, it goes by what you said earlier. It
Yeah,
goes so
so
quick,
quick.
doesn't it? Yeah,
But
crazy.
they're proper. Well, not adults. Well, they are adults, but do you know what I mean? I still
yeah.
in my head, they're these little kids cutting about, and I'm just it's so odd. It creeps up, but it's so nice surfing with them. It's amazing. It's a dream. I want to keep going doing that.
Yeah, exactly, isn't it? That is
Yeah.
the dream. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? To do
Yeah.
that, keep on doing that, man. So, yeah, man.
And the kids are on shortboards.
Yeah, whatever at the moment. I mean, yeah, say, my youngest Joe, he definitely wants to do more shortboard vibe. He's got the kind of feel for it and that, and so he's going to be doing that, I reckon. As soon as he's up, he's got all his skateboarding vibe going on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
So that's cool.
And-
yeah.
And then what about the music? How did that start? Because I'm from literally right by where you live. So and
You're Western
how does
Superman,
that?
Chief.
How does the guy from Cheddar end up in this band that become massive? And what was that journey? So first of all, the first part of the question is, where did music start for you?
Yeah.
And then second, how did that go from that into Reef into you guys going huge?
Yeah, I didn't really grow up fully surrounded by music, so I wasn't really aware of anything really. I grew up on the farm and that, and it was like a working farm in Cheddar Gorge, like beautiful spot. But it was only when I was at school that I moved from a friendship group to another friendship group, and they were a bit more like into music and stuff like that, and they were like, we were gonna do a bit of a band, and then we got 2 guitar players, but we haven't got a bass player. And I was like, okay, well maybe I'll have a little go. I had no idea about anything. Well, bass line was.
Didn't know what you were getting into.
I didn't know. No, I didn't. And then but my uncle, he was, he liked art and the music and stuff like that. And he was like Mike in his magic boot. So he opened up his boot and he had a bass in there. Yeah, I got a bass in my boot. The Mike in his magic boot, bro. So that was really cool. So he gave me this bass and just had that. And my other uncle, he was in a band growing up. So my dad's brother, he was in a band called the Cavemen, man. Cheddar Gorge. This is years ago. And he goes, I've got an old amp. So I had it, my uncle's amp and my other uncle's bass, one from each side of the family.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a bit of music in the both sides of the family song, wasn't it?
I know of the Cavemen as well.
So so I had this bass and amp, and then I was still at school, and I all of a sudden had something that I felt connected to, and I felt I like using my hands, I guess, you know, more than, I don't know, whatever, like retaining information about stuff. Which I'm not poo-pooing that. It just wasn't that for me. That wasn't the way I work. I love my hands, using them. Bass, articulate. Oh, this feels good. You know, like, yeah, this feels good. I felt like I had something. I felt like I had something special a little bit. I don't know, you know, like, you know, it gave me something to just get into. Yeah. And that was when I was like 14, 15. And then I passed my tractor test at 16. And then, I don't know why I'm telling you that, but it's just memories are flooding back, man. Like physics. Yeah, you got to do your tractor test. So I just went out and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I had that. And then my uncle, actually, the same dude, there was local battle of the bands going on. I was in a band. Gary, singer of Reef, was in another band. You know, and my uncle was saying, you've got to chat to this dude. He's such a great singer. So he gave me his number, and I was like, Gary, you know, I don't know you, man. You all right, brother? And we've connected straight away, me and Gary. Straight away, you know? And then I found out that he was going to be going to Stroud College the following year, which I went to, which is a college near Glastonbury Street. Yeah. So we, day one, like, just check, are you Gary? You know, like, checking, like, skatery kind of, like, people like David Lee Roth or Van Halen kind of people. Are you Gary? And then there was Gary, and I'm like, all right, brother. And so we just got this friendship, and then we started bands together from that moment. Do you know what I mean? You know, we both kind of followed the path together, really, from that moment.
What was the early rendition of Reef then? Was there something before
that? We had a band called Big Talk. So this is the time. We found a really cool drummer, Brett. This is an interesting story because we can bring surfing into this. So this is the sort of time that we were getting into surfing and everything as well. And there was a group of surfers, Streetway. We call them the cider surfers. They're still around now, man. They're beautiful rockers. But they'd love the local Wilkins cider and go surfing, like, you know, well, you know, like I got my first board off one of them, a kamikaze board. This guy called Muttley down in St. Ives. Yeah. So I got that off him, and it was like short board, but it was like ping. It was wicked, actually. It had like a map of the world, but as a skull. It was just such a cool board. But I got that off him, and then we got into surfing. And then me and Gaza, we got a band together with the drummer. He liked surfing too. So we could all start driving now. We'd always be coming down here or whatever. And then we got a guitar player who we were at Stroud with as well. And the guitar player ended up being in Top Loader, you know, later on. Yeah. So we ended up, we were jamming with them, right? Me and Gazer, and we were working, both had jobs. So we flunked out of college. We thought, nah, man, we want to do music. Gary got a job there. I got a job in Weston at the music shop. Right, I don't know if you remember back in the day, Dolphin Square.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Back in the day, man, I worked there. Gary worked, so we had this thing. We were still working in music. You know, we were getting paid hardly anything really, but we were just in music, had a job, getting by. And then we decided, let's move to Newquay with this band because we want to surf and we want to. So we went to Newquay for a whole summer, and got gigs at the Bowgie. Have you ever been to the Bowgie on the end of Crantock Headlands? So we got a gig there every Tuesday night with this band, and we all lived together in Penty Headland. It was quite an amazing time, and this is the first time for me to move home, be out of home, and it was a special time. Funny enough, at the end of that summer, we were like, no, we can't, you know, it just wasn't working with the guitar. Like classic band thing, let's work with somebody else. So another guitar player and a drummer came down, and the drummer ended up being in Cooler Shaker eventually. So this is all these like dudes we were just hooking up with. Yeah. So that was another band. We only did one gig with that band in Bristol, and we had the name Chief. So Big Talk, Chief. And then Reef and then when we actually got the full lineup of Reef, we were called Naked for a while. Stone Monkey after a load of like climbers. There's that climbing scene in like Yosemite, the Stone Monkeys. We called ourselves Stone Monkey, which is a good name. And then we ended up with Reef finally, and that. So that's the transition of different band names. And then we all end up going to London, and there was a while we all lived together in London in a house together. And you can see that if you see the good feeling video, is a cool video to see. You can see the house we live at, and they made a promo film of us, and they took us down to Cornwall. We made a couple of surf, kind of like videos of us just being young and surfing and that. Do you know what I mean? But you can see the house on that. So we all living in a house together, in London, sort of having a go at making it, Chief. You know what I mean? Which we did it, you know, and it's only from It's only from when I was at Stroke College that I sat next to this. I had to retake. I said this to the guys, my lads, or anyone, like, sometimes you just got to chat to people and, like, you don't have to sort of fully socialise. But I was hanging out with this guy and I was sat next to him and his name's James, and he was like, oh yeah, my sister goes out with this sort of A&R man, you know, and I'll get them to check you out. Do you see what I mean? So it's like you do what. Sometimes it can just be meeting people, isn't it?
It's super organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like lovely. So we ended up getting signed by this dude for like Sony Music, but there was a smaller label.
Yeah. Like
The
a
big,
sub-label.
Yeah, sub-label called S2.
Yeah.
So they signed us. They were looking for a kind of grunge rock band, a British one.
Yeah.
And like, we were the ticket, weren't we? We were the ones for that,
yeah.
man. So it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the quick transition of how all that came about, some kind of way.
the band name changes. I'm just curious. Like,
Now get on.
Is that do you change the name as a reset to try and start again? Is it just a revamp sort of thing, or?
I think we were just trying to find a good name. I mean, and the names now are even harder. Every name's been taken.
Yeah.
So, we just trying to find a good name that felt like we could, do well. And then the name Reef, that has a weird story, the name Reef, because we were like hanging out in our house in London, the one I was telling about, and we were like, oh, what's a good name? And then me and Gary, we were sort of wearing the Reef sandals and that, and Reef's cool. And then we were like, and we had this kind of thing with the BBC test card when everything shut down. There was the crazy clang, wasn't there? And that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we were like, perhaps we could call our band the name of the girl on that, man. So we sort of got in touch with the BBC, and they said her name was Carol. So it was like, Carol's not a good name for a band, but Coral Reef. It was like, yeah, Reef. So it's kind of came from that little investigation, and also the fact that we were wearing the sandals, but as time went on, Reef tried to sue us. So I'm not going to go too heavily into that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, every company's got their own. If they're a big company, they've got their own separate. What do you want to call it? Like law department, haven't they?
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
probably
yeah,
the law department. So they tried to sort of take us to court because we were selling T-shirts at gigs, and then suddenly they were selling T-shirts. So that's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then we started wearing rainbow sandals. We were like, fuck it, man. So
They never tried to do anything with you.
that's the thing. I mean, if we could have done something with them, man. But hey, let's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be, was it?
No.
Nope.
Reef's
It's all cool.
Reef's what I call my son, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, he hates it. His name's Kyle, but
He changed it. He used
no,
to
his name's Kyle. But I think when he was about, he must have been maybe like 8, 9, something like that. And I'd got into, I was maybe a little bit younger, but I'd got into surfing big.
Yes.
And then I was like, his name should be Reef. It's more surfy. So I just out of nowhere started calling him Reef.
That's a
He
good
hates it,
name.
but I still call him Reef.
Oh, get on. That's
Because I
cool,
like
isn't
it.
Yeah, well
'Cause
done,
I like
man.
it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I remember you guys kind of got, I mean, I guess from the outside looking in, maybe it was different because you're putting a graft in and you're trying to meet these people and make it big. But I remember you guys just getting big really quick. Like really quick. Is that how it was for you guys, or was it a bit of a slow burner?
Like, for example, we were in London and we were like working hard. Like, we were going skateboarding down to different places, in the area of like, because, we go down to Kingston or get a gig somewhere or get gigs somewhere.
Yeah.
We'd always go like a few weeks before, skateboard around with a flyer. Best band in London. We say, we're the best band in London. Come and see us. Maybe we get 3 people to turn up from doing those nights of just doing the work. But it was, again, let's talk about this guy Lincoln, man. Lincoln, who signed us. It was Lincoln and Muff Winwood.
Yeah.
They were the A&R men, but Lincoln knew these. This is how it went from us. We got sort of signed, but Lincoln had this idea that perhaps get you on an advert or something, and then he hooked up with these 2 really up and coming film directors who made the Sony mini disc advert.
Yeah.
Don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Mike Villetti's in it as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? So
Yeah.
that was suddenly, and it was the time when there's only like 4 channels, 5 channels, maybe Channel 5 was there as well.
Yeah.
So we were lucky enough to be in. They flew us out to New York, and for us, like Kenwyn had never even flown. I'd flown once, but now we're flying to New York and stayed in this lovely hotel and we had it was an amazing experience. So we met Mike Vallely and a guy called Ron Kinnigy, another skateboarder at the time, doing this advert, man. And then once that was on telly, people got it. It was almost like a tap into everyone's brain that what we were about, because we were in the video as well as characters. You could see what we were like, you could hear what we were like, and you could see that we were into skating and you know, rocking out, brother. Like Naked is a really good song. And I'm excited to say that we've re-recorded that song with Amy on guitar and Luke on drums, like with the current lineup. And like 30 years later, we've re-recorded that song. But I'll tell you about that in a bit. But I'm really excited about that because it's a wicked tune. And so that's when the crowds went from, you know, classic, you know, your classic 3 people and then a guy with a dog. We actually did a gig like that. You know what I mean? You do gigs like that. It went from that to being like, oh yeah, we know, you know, we want to come and see you. We tap into where you're coming from, and we're like, oh, that's really cool. Because then suddenly we're playing to sort of full rooms. You know, not you know, talking like 100 people now, 200 people full, as opposed to 5 or 6 people. Yeah. You know, so that was really cool. And then it was only when we did the next record with When Place Your Hands. That's when it went to over 1,000 venues, 1,500, 2,000 seater venues. Suddenly, really quickly that was. So it's over that 3-year period. It went from, you know, one man and a dog to, you know, when you look back on it, you can see it so clearly. When you're in it, you don't see it, do you?
No, for sure. Yeah.
I say 30 years. This is 30 years ago. Next year is 30 years ago since it all kicked off for us.
Did you change much in that time, or is there like you look back on that time and you think, oh man, I can't believe I was like that, or were you always as you are now?
And Pete, how is he now?
Chilled.
Chilled,
down to earth. Like without saying like that, anyone that's like ever meets you, and I've seen so many people you speak to down here, you have the same vibe and respect to every single person you meet. There's like sometimes you'll meet people and you think like, oh, they won't treat people the same. You just everyone you chat to, you just got the same vibe, and it's chilled and nice and friendly.
Thanks, man. Well, I hope to, don't I?
Yeah,
I hope to, brother.
You are.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, I love that though. I love that. There's no way that, you know, I just want to do that.
When me and Andy Haddon got off that call with you, we had the founder of Lost Shore. Because you refer to people as rocker, don't you? You say that a lot. And we got off the phone and we were both like, yeah, we're rockers. We were buzzing. We're rockers, Jack said.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. No, you know, obviously, it was a, you know, 30 years. It's a 30 years for you. You know, whatever. Everyone has their life, don't they? And I can see mine from here now. I can see it and stuff and appreciate it and know that I was, you know, sometimes I went through hard times like we all do, you know. And but I think
because you guys were still quite young as well for that to happen. Brother. So like, it's, you know, you hear stories of people like they go like well off the rails or something like that. But
I'm going to put my hand in the air and say, like, surfing has been such a help to get me through it, because I've always never gone heavy, you know, too heavy, you know, with stuff. And I've always tried to keep myself, because you know how fit you got to be to catch a wave, and you not fit as in like fit. You just got to be to go surfing. You want to hopefully get up and ride, don't you? And that, and it takes a lot of exercise and dedication to be at that level to enjoy getting up. I don't know if you find that. Maybe you find it easier to me, but I know what I've got to do. So I've got to do like a few press ups and that, go to the pool. Yeah. And for me on tour, that's kind of kept me going. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like always in my head, you know, dressing room, do some press ups, a few pop ups, and just keep the thing going. So when I get back off this tour, when I go surfing, I'm going to have something in me to be able to try and get a wave, brother, and go down the line. And because that's the thing, isn't it? There's such a brilliant feeling, the pop up, and then it's so addictive. Yeah. That's why we do it, and people watching this will be like, you know, that's why it's such a lush feeling, isn't it? And beautiful, man. So I've always like that's kept me pretty sort of on the track, I think. So I'm thankful to surfing for that, really, because I always know how hard it's gonna be. So not hard. Yeah, it's always good fun, isn't it? But to actually get a wave, brother.
Yeah, ignore that. That was that.
All right.
And you, there was a point where quite a few of you in the band surfed, right?
Yeah.
When you were looking at gigs, certainly around on the continent, not necessarily in the UK.
Yeah.
Because I asked this because I know, like, when I was in the army, if I was getting deployed somewhere, I was going on a course or an exercise anywhere, the first thing I'm now looking at, right, I'm off to here, can I surf? And I'm on the
brother.
apps, right? So is that what you guys done as a band?
I would do well. I would really do that. I would investigate. Still do it now.
Yeah.
You know, I've tried to overcome any social anxiety of anything. I just try and what's going to be good fun, man. You know, sometimes it's like go for a sea swim now or whatever. I try and do something that's going to just wake me up and keep me in the zone.
Yeah.
And but we have been very lucky to tour places. Like I said, we recorded a couple of albums in California, so we had a chance to surf there. And then we toured Australia, man.
Yeah.
You know, so we were able to surf in quite a few different spots in Australia as well. So really have had a little bit of a look round. And now I can tell my kids they want to go to Australia. They want to do this, man. So maybe that's time to go back there at some point. And,
that's cool.
you know, I love music. And like I know sometimes I can get obsessed with songwriting. I try and work out the best thing to do or the best way to bring sort of money in to help the farm, you know, to keep the farm and to help, you know, blah blah blah. My wife works as well. I work doing songwriting, man. That's my thing, and bands, you know. And I'm trying to find my way with it. But at some point, you've got to, you know, you just got to just drop it a little bit, haven't you? And like just make sure you're surfing with the kids, like we talked about earlier, man. Having these experiences rather than being obsessed with something else.
Yeah. And when did how did the TFI Friday thing come about? How did that come about for you guys?
That's Chris Evans, and like we still have a good rapport with him, man. It was funny actually because we did the Car Fest last year, and he sat with us and goes, "Oh my God, I just met the guy from Dr. Hansi Boys. Who have you got? Jeff Ho?
Yeah.
Is it?
Is it?
Not Jeff Ho.
No. Mind blank.
You got to
Peter.
You have to re-edit this, edit this out. So I shouldn't say Jeff Ho.
No,
You have to re-edit this out, wouldn't you?
It's the two
Come on,
dudes.
Pete.
Yeah.
It's the two dudes. Anyway, man. So Chris Evans goes, I just met him. He was out there with his son at one of the beaches, which is cool, isn't it?
Mine's going 19 to 2000 now. I just
the
can't
Hot
think.
Fires
No,
one
I
we shot.
can't think what his name is now. Not Jay. No, Jay. No, gone.
Well, it's the two guys that started it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The two,
Well, they started Carfest.
No.
it started Dogtown. He
Dogtown
was out there.
Z-Boys
Chris
is,
Evans was out and met one of the guys
Oh.
at
LA
Dogtown.
skate scene thing. It's the original
Oh, right.
skate scene.
Okay.
Have you seen that documentary?
Nah, I've skateboarding, so I don't know.
No, but you'd love this documentary.
Yeah, right.
It's
Okay.
so cool.
So basically, they started it. A quick gist of it: they started it because they were surfers and there was no waves, so they invented skateboarding.
Oh,
as
right,
it is
okay.
now. So that's the gist of it,
Right.
really.
Documentary.
Yeah, right.
It really is. It's got great music on there, and it gives you such a stoke.
Okay, right,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it was funny that we talked. It's just a funny thing that I'm just going off track with it. Really, you're asking about Chris Evans. So basically, you're on that show. We were on that show back in the day, and he had on that show, didn't he? He had a section when it's your letter.
It's your
Somebody
letters,
would send a letter, and he would read it out. I guess that's what it was. And he must have had a little bit of a jingle that like you got for this show. He must have had one.
Yeah.
And then he got the axe to do the kind of like what you asked me to do earlier, man.
Yeah.
Will you do a rock version of our
yeah.
jingle? You know, so they asked us to do a version. Then after a while they started to make it a little bit of a every week the band has to do.
Yeah.
But
right.
nothing matched our one. And I'm not like going like we were the best, but nothing matched it, so they kept on using our one. But again, like that
But
was
that's like everyone like our age sticks in your head and it goes
Yeah.
like some
That's what you- yeah.
that song will come
Yeah.
on and someone will go, "It's your
Yeah, of course
letters,
they
it's
do.
your
Of
letters."
course.
Because did
Yeah.
you not do it? Was it live every time, or was it?
No, they showed us every week. But then
Yeah.
again, that's good publicity for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Maybe at the time.
I mean, I watched that every week.
Well, at the time, we were probably trying to maintain a bit of our integrity, so we were probably like, "Oh, please, can they take that off now?" But when you look back on it, who cares, man? It's cool. And every
Yeah.
week we were on there, and it was played, and it's we can only be who we are, you know.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can't, whatever it is, man, it's fine. So it's a funky tune, and we were on there doing it, and yeah. But he's always been really supportive of the band, and like I say, the other day, just docking in with him and that, chatting about the industry as it is at the moment, was really cool. And yeah, he can. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, we're doing that again.
He's
next year,
a
actually.
really intellectual guy, actually, isn't he? I think he's probably underrated for that. He's a super smart
Yeah,
guy.
and he is into like ways of maintaining a positive attitude, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Meditation, yoga, all these things to keep a positive frame of mind.
Surfs as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He probably does because his son's.
He does now, yeah. He
Yeah,
does
his
surf.
son's. That's why he's met that. That's why he was excited to meet the dude, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so yeah, no, so that's cool, man. So they would do that every week at the show, and that's it, man.
But I would say that he doesn't chase, and if he's listening, he knows I'm going to steal one of his own lines. I don't think he does chase a positive mindset because I'll listen.
He
to
doesn't
Virgin.
chase one.
Yeah, I'll sometimes listen to Chris Evans and Virgin, and something he spoke about was, you know, positivity, right? Positive and negative thoughts. He would say, I don't know where he got it from, but I now use it as my own argument. He would say that's a first level thought, being positive or negative. It's not really a choice. The thing here is, if you break down what positive and negative is, ultimately it's just judgment.
Yeah.
Positivity and negativity is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's judgment. We're
Yin-yang.
judging everything.
Yeah.
So if we don't judge it, if we're not judging things all
Yeah.
the time, then you're going to be positive, probably,
Yeah.
as
It's
an
good
outset.
not to
It's
judge.
good.
So-
no judgment, bro. That's
No
that's
judgment.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know. We all think about these things, don't we, and stuff too
Yeah.
much sometimes, but it's all cool.
Yeah.
But the thing is, isn't it? It's just
And yeah,
even like now, right? Being in the moment, isn't it? Hi
Yeah.
guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
We're here, aren't we?
Yeah.
And like we just got to be happy with that.
yeah, totally.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And
But
And
it
it's
does-
mad to think he now surfs, because I know he speaks about it sometimes on the show, and I think it's only in the last few years. But
Yeah.
obviously, back then when you were filming on TGI Friday,
Yeah.
you probably hadn't even had a thought about.
No, I
surfing
don't. I'm
back
glad
then.
he is, and
Yeah.
like it would be good to go surfing with him one day. Actually, it'd be good to do that, and perhaps we'll try and make that happen at some point.
Get him in the sort
Because he definitely connected with us.
Yeah.
I told him the story about when I was watching that film on the tour bus, and we had a good laugh about that. You know, the Dogtown one, but blah blah blah. It was fun, man. I love that film. I think you should see that film.
Okay.
It's
There's a few films that I'm supposed to have. I
He
should have
hasn't-
watched.
No,
He
you
hasn't
shouldn't have to. You don't have
Exactly.
to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, but it's like some of the classic 80s surfing films that he hasn't watched and stuff like that. You know, like the North Shore and stuff like that, you know.
I understand you 100%. Though I loved it when you interviewed Turtle Dude. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
That's just
John
funny.
Philbin, yeah.
That got me, you see.
Yeah.
You know, you've been trying to sort of like, well, not saying you try, but you said, do you want to pop? And I saw you did that, and I thought, well, I like your vibe.
Yeah.
You know, you're interviewing this dude who's, me and my brother watched that film.
Yeah.
And we were taking with Turtle Man, of course we were. And my
Yeah.
brother
Yeah.
my brother passed away. I've told you this, didn't I? You
Yeah.
know, my brother took his own life when he was 24.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Bless
Sorry.
him, rocker. It was
Yeah.
a tough time. And that was right at the start of Reef.
Yeah.
So 30 years ago for me, I've got that as well now. That's coming up for me, but it's cool. I'm cool with it. But we watched North Shore, and my brother would say, "You're just a hot dog. You're not a soul surfer."
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it. And I even look back and I can remember him saying that to me, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
And
a
a
cool.
simple thing, innit?
Yeah.
But when you had Turtle on, I was like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
no,
cool.
I tell you what, the guy is such a nice guy, and there's like, so we had some of the other guys on afterwards, like we had Gregory Harrison as well, who played Chandler in there,
Brilliant.
and but he told us a story afterwards, and he's like, or it was Matt Adler, one of them told us a story, and it's like, oh, did John tell you about his like house? And he's like, no, and he'd done this interview with us, and he said he was living somewhere. Because like in one of the like LA fires or something, his house had got burnt down, and there was loads of this stuff. Didn't even mention it, just like completely talking about the nostalgia of North Shore and all this stuff, and like didn't mention any of that. And it was like we would never have known. And he was
Yeah,
he was
really. You
such
didn't know until afterwards. You
didn't know. Found out afterwards. Yeah,
there's all these things people have got to
yeah,
deal
they
with,
just
innit, man?
like it just shows you know what people are dealing with, and you never know really what someone else is going through, do you, or what they've got. What
No,
they've
you
got
never
going
know,
on.
Pete, man.
But-
Do you?
So you got 30 years of Reef coming up.
Anniversary.
Anniversary.
Yeah, next
And
year.
you're going to be, but also as well as that, you've got your own music that you're doing, as well as one
Yes.
album's been released. Is it one album, two albums been released?
Yeah, I've recorded like a little sequence of albums see, in the farmhouse, I recorded one album called Be Notified.
Yeah.
And it was down the far end room of the farmhouse. I always had a fire going and stuff, and I'd be like, I record it with the soundscape of the fire, the soundtrack of the fire in the background and that. And then, so that album's pretty mellow, the first one. It's got Devils in the Room on it. It's a good tune.
Yeah.
Like, play that live, and I love that song live.
Yeah.
It's wicked fun. Still wicked fun now, man. Devils in the Room. And then I wanted to do another album, the next one, called Lucky Mountain.
Yeah.
But then I sort of put a log burner in the barn, and then we sort of knocked through a wall and just changed the barn, and so that I could have more of drums and more like a bit more of a rocker vibe on there.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lucky Mountain still kind of pretty mellow, pretty folky, kind of good vibes, good positive vibes. Peacemaker's on there as well, but
Yeah.
got drums, got a drummer on there. And then I did a couple of EPs, and that's the one like Surfing Safari Blues EP and Brother Thunder EP.
Yeah.
And then so on Surfing Safari Blues and on Lucky Mountain, Eric, who you chatted to, he went on these trips. Did he tell you when
Yeah,
then he had a clockwork camera? Did he tell you this?
Yeah.
He did, yeah, he did,
He
So he said, oh, if you want, you can use the footage from when we went to Himalayas.
Oh, wow.
When we were 22, they went to Himalayas and like Land Rovers, like a gang of them from here, I guess, or wherever they were, and they went on this trip all through like Europe and that. Brilliant. And that's why I used some of the footage for that.
And the Morocco, was it some of the Morocco
And Morocco,
stuff?
the surfing one, yeah. But the Demi, who does the London Surf Film Festival, she edited this film for me to Peacemaker.
Okay.
The song Peacemaker on Lucky Mountain, man. So I was lucky to have Eric's, and it just goes really well.
Yeah.
Some mountaineers and that, and it's a bit of
Yeah.
a funny like vibe. But it's just it's worth watching, man. If anyone wants to watch these videos, they're cool. But so basically, what's happened for me now is just through doing stuff in Cheddar and doing music nights. You know, you talked about nights you put on and stuff. You Pete, jamming nights, jamming nights. I've got to meet just through that the dude who plays with Massive Attack, Damon Rees.
Yeah.
And he was in Spiritualized and Echo and the Bunny. Man, he's such a history, man. And he's just brilliant, funky drummer, very good at recording and having ideas that are a bit more psychedelic. So it really fits with what I'd like to do. So it's just moved me on a bit more. So I'm really excited about this album, and I'm gonna put this out next year, 25. I'm gonna release some of the songs off this album.
Yeah.
So next year what we're saying is, which is exciting for me because it sees the year. It's like me releasing that, and then we're touring Reef's first album, which is Replenish. It's what we were talking about earlier. So we're gonna go out and play that album next year, probably the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And we're releasing tour dates for that soon, actually.
Yeah.
So that's it. So it's a kind of exciting year next year. And again, we talked about like traveling. I want to do gigs around, maybe the camper van, and I'm promoting my record, or say if Reef's playing in Glasgow, maybe we can go surfing.
Yeah.
Or maybe I can do a gig at the the
North
shore.
Shore, yeah.
So I'm just trying to do interesting things that keep the spirit, the dream alive. You know. So that's what hopefully the next few years is going to be like. Like playing live, playing music live.
Yeah.
And
so
and giving a positive vibe to
Yeah.
people, like.
Well, we've been lucky enough to hear some of the new songs that you've written and recorded that you've played to us.
Intimate gig.
Intimate gig.
Yeah,
Played
I
one of them
Jim,
live.
Didn't I? Played
Yeah.
Jim. See, that was my brother's name, Jim. You see.
Ah, right. Okay.
Right,
So that
yeah.
chorus.
Yeah.
Swim, swim, just swim, and you'll find Jim. It's just like, where can I find peace with this? And for me, it's in nature. It's in whatever, surfing or just swimming or lying in the sea and looking up at the sky. That's it. So that song's that. And I wanted to have such a beautiful piece of music that I didn't have to talk about it. The music will say this vibe that I've got in me, this passionate vibe about this subject.
I'll hear that different next time.
Man.
Yeah.
And I've just got to. I'm sort of finishing this record. I'm close to finishing it, but I just got to go in the studio and just re-sing that chorus.
Okay.
Just a bit higher as well, with the low one that's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got little things to chip away to do like that, but they're fun things, man.
Yeah, right. And if you need a backing vocalist.
Dude.
Right here.
But that song's gone so well. I've played in a couple of surf shops, like one in Poole. I played one in Poole.
Not Bravery.
No,
there?
it wasn't. It was I forgot the name. It was like a cafe, but they got surfing wheels, 5 man. They're like it was beautiful, man. And then one in Norfolk, but that gym song just went really well. I'm really pleased about that.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You test stuff out. And
Yeah.
it went really well.
Where,
so
of all the places you've played, where's the one that really sticks out? Like, where's the one that you're like, oh, that was something special?
Right now, we played like with Reef. We played like the Driftwood Spa, man. Like you just said, like you said earlier, do you like playing big places or small places? But you know, like love surfing back in this. So this is 30 years ago. We went down to Driftwood Spa down in St Agnes, tucked in this small thing. I think they put us in the actual hotel bit or whatever back then, and you're just rocking out and you're banging your head on the ceiling and you're just getting down and getting dirty and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the little memories like that, we had lots of gigs where we played, you know, like crowd surfing, so much crowd surfing. You were properly allowed to do it and that. And there's one gig and that I got my jeans got caught on a nail on the. This is in Scotland.
Yeah.
Got caught on the nail in the roof. I'm sort of hanging with my jeans like caught on a nail. I can't, you know what I mean? Like it's just crowd surfing.
Don't steal anything there.
We did lots of lovely gigs actually, and lots of lovely gigs in Scotland. To be fair, really like you know, I mean, we played the Barrowlands, and that was just epic, man. So this is a long time ago, but we were, you know, again, you know, it was whatever, like a roller coaster ride, and there were certain ways of emotion and stuff, but. You know, because we did it for 10 years, then we had to call it quits for quite a few years, and that's when I scratched my surf itch. Really, I got a caravan. I moved down to Cornwall, and I surfed so much that I kind of like, I want to do something else now a little bit.
Yeah,
I loved it, man. But just what I mean, it's like it's good to have a bit of a balance. You know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
If we say this earlier, didn't we? With your work and stuff, you've got to just make sure you get a bit of a balance. You know, get too obsessed with one thing or whatever. I don't know whatever people want to do in it, but for me, it's good to
Well, especially when you're, I guess, when your profession is also your passion, and I think we're both fortunate in that. You know, I work in surfing, and surfing's my passion. You work in music, and music's your passion. But there's definitely a dangerous line of your passion becoming work, and I don't want it to feel like work for me. I want it to just.
We were talking about that. It's interesting, isn't it? It's almost like you're trying too hard or whatever, and you just got to just step back and remember something else. Yeah, there's something else, isn't it? To remember that, isn't it? Yeah.
Which probably you mentioned your camper van. I want to speak about that because that thing is an absolute weapon. That is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if
yours is a weapon, brother.
But they couldn't be further apart though. I'd say mine's just. You know, modern and it looks cool, but yours is like character full. It's like you just know there's stories in that van for days. Like it would work on, like my van wouldn't work in a music video, a surf music video. It wouldn't work. It's too modern. Your van would work in any sort of nomad surf trip edit, music edit. It's just
we can do one,
really
man. Let's
cool.
do a surf trip, brother. No, I did have a lovely time last summer. Actually, I played down in Cornwall, like these really cool sort of like campsite thing, but it was right up in the woods, and it was like it'd been raining all night, and I just whacked that in first gear, and like had to go up this, and it was just like water come down this muddy track, and it just trucked up there, brother, like this. It was going left, right, and I just sort of, and they were like, "How did you get up here?"
Safe as houses.
I don't know. It just sort of first gear. It's almost like it's 4x4, but it's not 4x4. But it just got up there, man. But that was a lovely experience last year doing that gig. These are great experiences to have, You know.
You like your machinery as well as your nature side. I know you like your motorbikes and you like your machinery, don't you? I've seen you on the is it the scramblers you've got?
Yeah, I do like a bit of motorbike vibes. I haven't got my motorbike test to go on the road, but I just like it just rooting around on farm bikes in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen you out on the farm bikes, and I've seen you a few videos and photos that you've put up before of you out on the farm bikes a long time ago now, I think.
I like it, and I've got, like I say, there's the biker rockers of Cheddar, who he actually, because Damon, the Massive Attack drummer rocker guy, he is a biker, but they're like their old sort of BSAs and Triumphs, and
like cafe racer types.
Yeah, they're all into the vibe, man. Yeah. They're cool, actually. Like, and Damon's got his own style, and I love his style. He's cool, but he's into his old bikes and that. And so I've got like a definitely a crossover, like attraction to that kind of thing. But I haven't really ever. I feel like I was just overcomplicating. to be honest with you, I've got a BMX bike. I like riding that. Brother. It's not too much fiddling with engines and stuff like that.
Start talking to you about the 80s classics of BMX bandits and rad. Yeah.
Well, that's it, you know. So and I do love riding mountain bike and stuff like that. But I say I haven't got a road bike and stuff. But what we're just trying to keep the dream alive a little bit on the farm and that by keeping some of the bikes. Maybe my kids will get into sort of mechanicking and bikes, and I'd like to learn a bit more as I go on.
Yeah.
But then where do you find the time? So this is what I'm being a bit aware about. It's like kick back up in the shed. How long does it take to take an engine apart and put it back together again? That's a whole new chapter in it, brother.
Yeah, right, okay.
I've got good friends I can hang out with who might help me learn a bit more about that side of things. And that,
I think you got music, you got surfing, skating, BMX, family.
Yeah.
There's not much time left in the day for anything else anyway, is there? Like
like I said, I was like happy just to get the sweeping brush out this morning and have a little ride down there because I'm not on this kind of making breakfast for the kids run this morning, man. I was like out with the broom.
Yeah. Well, that made me laugh. That made me laugh. Was it Surfed Out we went for breakfast? Is that where we went?
No.
What's the place called?
Wild Time.
Wild Time.
Wild
Lovely
Time.
there, man.
So when it's super nice. But when we came in, I was moving. You had your skateboard gear in the corner, and there was a broom there, and I moved the broom out of the way, and you said, "Oh, it's my broom," and I was like, "Ha, yeah," thinking you were joking. And then when we left, I saw you taking the broom. I was like, "You stole the fucking broom."
I did. I had the broom when I came to Tiki, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
And I think they must have been puzzled, but I think they get the vibe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because it was full of leaves.
And you definitely didn't bang that broom on any longboards that were hanging up when you turned round.
I saw that. I heard it. That was my skateboard, wasn't it? Yeah, I can be a little bit clumsy. In fact, I got a good friend actually. I got a good friend called Dava and his nickname is Spiller for me because I'm always like a bit sort of whoops, like Spiller, brother.
So speaking of clumsy, it's maybe not clumsy, but I guess the thought process was clumsy. When we surfed today, and I had a wave, I paddled back out, and not that it was big again, it was maybe, I don't know, chest to shoulder, whatever it was, and I thought, I'll duck dive that wave on this longboard, which I never longboard on. And the thing was literally going to break on my head as well, so the timing couldn't have been worse. So I was like,
can I just say, because I was next to you, it's one of the best things I've ever seen.
I was like,
so you didn't get it whipped.
I was like, all I need is speed, and I'll get this nose under. So like, I paddled like fuck to this wave, and I put my hands right at the nose on the rail, and I almost done a handstand to try and get the nose of the board under the water.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. The board didn't move. So all I done was present my face as a target to that breaking lip. And honestly, it was like the biggest bitch slap you've ever seen across. It was like Ray Clemens' hand right across my face. But obviously, my face broke through the water and you were sat right in front of me. And he obviously saw it.
It's so good.
I was so painful. Man. I tried to own it like it wasn't sore. I was twitching on the inside.
You at least had a go at doing it, didn't you?
It was such a good fun day. It was such a good fun day.
So I was going to say, so what have you got? So next year you say you've got your own music coming out. You've got Reef. Do you know any dates or any places that any of these are going to be happening yet, or what are you aiming for?
No, I think it's late summer. I think the Reef tour is going to be, and it'll probably like 3 or 4 weekends in a row, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Over about a month, so it'll probably be definitely Scotland and Wales and hopefully Ireland. Do you know what I mean? You know, we got like quite a few festivals now in the summer. I know we're going to Ireland and up to Glasgow and. So we're out and about in the summer doing festivals. Again, down in St Agnes, a little orchard cider festival, which is a really good fun festival to play. So yeah, we've got enough going on. And then say the Replenish tour. So it's it's gonna be it's cool actually. It's already doing it, man. It's already fine, man.
I was gonna say on that. So I know you've just come off tour with Deep Purple.
Yes, my man.
Which is like. That must be a bit mind-blowing anyway.
That was a lucky draw for us to get that.
Yeah.
It was an enjoyable experience. Yeah.
But have you ever gone on tour or played alongside anyone and you've been like, fuck, like, get that vibe? Like, who are the people that influenced you in music, and who do you look up to, and have you ever had the chance to play with them and just been like, oh my God, what's happening?
And remember, Pete's in the room.
Man.
It happened earlier, brother.
That was it. That was your biggest influence, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think, again, it was like when we started out, it was like we had these lucky breaks, didn't we, or whatever, or we made it happen. Whoever knows it happened, but it happened, and then we. Like you asked me yesterday, or this morning, I can't remember, how do you write a song and that? And then we had this song. Oh, mate, I was on the farm and I was like sweeping the packing shed. Again, I must have a thing with sweeping brushes, but I was sweeping out the packing shed with the strawberries, blah blah, helping mum and dad, and I had a bit of an itch. Oh, I got a riff, and I had to keep going back up to the house to sort of like, now when I do this, I know what I'm doing, but I didn't know what I was doing then. Do you sort of mean? Like your songwriting, didn't you? Got riff.
Yeah.
I've got some words come to me.
Yeah.
And like, oh, what's this all about? You know, I'm only like 17, 18. I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? But what happened was that was one of the early songs that we had. We released Good Feeling and Choose to Live.
Yeah.
And that was the song Choose to Live.
Oh,
right?
cool.
So this is words that I formulated. And then Gary helped me finish the second verse, or whether we finished the song together. But really lovely words.
Yeah.
It's still, this is what I'm really excited about this tour in this record, because the record's really vital. We were young. Lyrically, Gary's lyrics are brilliant. We had great riffs, and we had a not knowing what we were really doing vibe about us, which is wonderful, isn't it? And hopefully inspiring to people doing this now. You know, like it must be hard to even get anywhere with music now. It's difficult, isn't it? I'm not going to go on a weeper about it, but it's tough for people to do that. But Paul Weller liked that song, my man.
Yeah.
He liked that Choose to Live song.
All right.
That's amazing. And then he got us to support him in London.
Nice.
Yeah, and we did 3 nights supporting him at the Albert Hall. You know, we had sort of pretty crappy gear. We weren't really, you know, he just, guys, come in.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
You guys are young and you're maybe vital, or you're doing something I respect.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you, you heard that song and that. I'm going to have you on, so we supported him 3 nights in a row. And that's the first time I witnessed true passion on stage in a live environment.
Right.
The passion, the connection between Paul Weller and the drummer, his band. One night it was great. It was great every night, but there was one night where the fire came and you could see it between them. The live moment, do you know what I mean? And that stuck with me. That has.
Yeah.
Dig that, man, for having us do that, do you know what I mean? And we have been lucky to support lots of people, different bands and stuff, but he gave us the time, and it was just to see that fire that you see, that you like about bands when there's a fire.
Yeah.
They're not getting complacent. They're not complacent.
Yeah.
They're in the moment, and they're trying to feel it. And
it's unseen, isn't it? When it's working, you can. It's like a feeling between, like if we were on stage together, it's like a feeling between you that you both know what's happening.
Yeah.
But I think everyone else around you sees that fire of what's going on, but it's really difficult to explain.
I'd
probably
more
let
than
the
a feeling.
I think the guy who does it more than I've ever done it is probably going to explain it better. But there's this moment, like you look at each other and you know exactly what's happening. It's like you totally sync up. Like it's like when you get your Bluetooth speaker to finally work with your phone or something like that, and it actually it works. Like it's that moment, isn't it, where it totally syncs up, and you know what the other ones is. I don't know. The way I can explain, I've had it before, is like when you've been in jam sessions, and you can almost anticipate what the other person's going to do next, and where you can go off that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. I don't know. You'd probably explain something like that a lot better than I could.
It is. It's a sort of in and out of time, isn't it? It's like understanding that something's going to happen. You know it's going to happen, but this is going to happen next. A bit like surfing, isn't it? You get on a good wave, wherever you see people, and they're almost like anticipation something that's going to happen before it even happens, and then they're so in the zone, isn't it? It's about being in that zone.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to be, isn't it, brothers?
Yeah. I want to ask you something, but I don't. But I know there's going to be somebody listening who's already thought of this question. So for that person listening, I've got your back. You're clearly passionate about music. You're equally, seemingly passionate about surfing, I would say.
Yes.
If you could only from this point forward carry one of them forward, music or
That's
surfing.
That's a really good question, isn't it?
Music or surfing.
There you go.
Music or surfing.
As long as I could just finish this record. May I please?
Okay, you can finish the record.
Yeah.
Right, and put it out.
Yeah.
And then, surfing.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Amazing the power of that, isn't it? Surfing. But see,
Yeah.
you've got this harmony, haven't you, between surfing and music as
Yeah,
well?
and I will say they do this. The beautiful thing about having I don't know if people feel like this or if you feel this, but you've surfed and it stays with you for 2-3 days. This feeling,
Yeah.
the salt water, the cold chilling you out, and blah blah, and you're a bit beat, aren't you? And you have a great feeling when you get back, or whatever. And next day you might do something creative.
Yeah.
And you for me, the way I feel allows that creativity to happen. It makes me go, yeah, I'm chill.
Yeah.
I'll sit and play guitar for 3 hours
Yeah.
and write some shit down. Yeah, brother, without doubting myself and feeling guilty about
What
not
you should be
doing-
doing.
Yeah, what I should be
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gives me so they've worked like lovely. They've been a lovely sort of friendship between the two. So that's been really good. And maybe that probably applies to lots of different types of art, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And it gives you the patience to sort of do something, and I think that's been really good.
Do you have a similar feeling at the end of a gig that you do at the end of a surf? You know, that sort of zen moment. Is it a similar thing?
At the end of a gig?
At the end of a gig. You know, the end of a surf, like you're saying,
Yeah.
for 2-3 days, you just got that sort of chill buzz.
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah,
end of-
no, you have. I think you've the same. I think there's a process of recording songs, especially if you're doing songs from the heart or from your body, from places where you want to release energy and vibe, be it anger or happiness. I mean, so you do that with the creative process of writing an album or writing something, but then equally live, you're, for me, like, imagine like your brother's committed suicide, right? And okay, this has happened. And then at the same so that's one hand. On the other hand, I'm signed in a band, and we're about to have this amazing experience. I've got that, and I've got that. Like playing live, brothers. Every night, I can release. So I dig that. I felt I could have done that, man. I did that, man. There was one time we did a gig, right? Fucking Cardigan Bay, like wakeboarding festival, and I fucking screamed. I was like rocking the shit, man. I screamed. I was like, the mic, like, yeah, fucking hell. And my ears just like popped like that. It's like, and everything just went really quiet. For a moment, I was a bit scared, but then I thought, wow, it's a complete silence, and like chill, like it's something you can't be scared about, but it's something just popped. Ooh, like but like it's like releasing anger, or I'd rather release that anger rock and roll.
Yeah.
Than release that anger on the street. Using his excuse.
Yeah.
I was lucky to have a
release,
an outlet,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's it. The same with sports and all sorts of things. People, it's not just me. Loads of people have got things going on in their lives, and it's just great to have outlets for some of these things, isn't it? I understand that you've been through things and stuff, and same as we find ways to do. So I'm grateful for music in that way. So again, with songwriting, you've got one way of expressing yourself and put it on a record. You've made a recording of something, a record of a time. I don't know. It's interesting. And then live is another thing, isn't it? You can really, I don't know. It's good. It's good to kind of be like relatively on a even keel, isn't it? Really, you want to be on stage like getting crazy, and you want or be. Woohoo! Happy, you got to find the right keel, haven't you? But I don't know, man. Maybe that's the way. I don't know.
No, I think
heavy
that's
stuff, man.
It's stuff. It's stuff you went through, and I think it's stuff that's built your character into who you are now. A lot of people. I don't think anyone would have said anything different if you'd had that going on in your life at the time, and you went, "Sorry, I can't do this right now. I've got to deal with this." And I know, career-wise, it would probably made something completely different happen in your life. But it takes a lot of strength to carry on and do what you needed to do And if you're also getting a release out of that at the same time, I think you probably did the best thing for yourself at the time to get through probably one of the toughest times in your life.
Yeah, I have my friends with me as well, didn't I? And this and that and stuff. Yeah, no, it's it, man. That's it. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It's been an interesting chat. Like,
that was a beautiful.
Do I sell my guitars in, brother?
Well, we can take them off your hands.
So right, we got a couple of little questions that we always ask at the end. So, firstly, you've said you've surfed all around the world. What is your favourite memory or favourite wave you've ever surfed?
We were lucky enough, right? I'm gonna answer this because is it the magazine Pathfinder? Was that the surf one, wasn't it? A cool magazine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Came out and Lee Robertson was writing an article for that, our friend Lee, and Lee was like, do you know what? There's a guy in the Maldives, Tony, and me and Gary were talking about it. I forgot his surname now, I've lost his surname, but he was shipwrecked back in the 70s or something on this island in the Maldives, right? Past the point and all that. I don't know if you know. No. So he had to. It's a great story behind all of it. And our friend, me and Gary's friend, Lee Robertson, was going to go out there and interview Tony about this thing where he was shipwrecked and there was a bit caginess going on and everything.
Yeah.
But the local authorities said you've got to clear your boat. You can't just leave. You got to, so he ended up living on the island.
Right.
And each day getting a bit of his boat and that and stuff. Then he got befriended the locals. Then he ended up a surf camp, right?
Okay.
I can't remember the name. He's passed away since this, man, but he was a lovely, interesting character. So we went with Lee to the Maldives, and we surfed some of the breaks around this island, and that was epic. And there was quite a few New Zealanders, Australians. There was like a real mix of people in the surf camp, but it was a good vibe because the guy that ran it, Tony, was beautiful. He was a good character. And we went out on one of the breaks. I can't remember which one. I think one was called, what was it, Sultans maybe? And I can't remember now. We've been talking for a long time, but there was Past the Point and there's a couple of other ones. But these New Zealand rockers, they were a little bit crafty and they sort of paid the people that took you on the boat, they gave them a bit of cash to go a bit earlier. Right. And they said, oh, do you want to come as well? They sort of, and they were a bit cheeky. So they were sort of, as the boat went out, you could see the Aussie guys turning up with their boards to get the boat, and they didn't stop. They just a bit buoy, really. It was quite funny. It's like the banter between them. But we went out a bit earlier, and there's this one wave, and I actually borrowed one of the boards of this new. They were a bit of a posse of guys. They were a little bit older than us, and one was called the captain. He was obviously the dude that they all mostly respected. Man, yeah. He was quiet though, but he was the captain and that. And he said, "Do you want to borrow a board?" So I borrowed this kind of it was a sort of thruster, a bit bigger, about 8 foot, red board, beautiful. And I got the best wave on that board. It was just lush, man. So that was the Maldives. But I can't quite remember the break. I'd have to go up and see it, but it was near Past the Point, the island.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the Maldives, man, we had a hell of experience. And the guy's story's epic and that, do you know what I mean? But I'd have to go and see the picture of what that break was. But it was the Maldives, man. I'm lucky to have gone there and had an experience out there, Chiefs. Yeah.
And what about is there a worst wipeout or a worst memory in surfing? Really
I was surfing a fish and I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna be loose and that, and like going out with no leash and that, and feeling like yeah. And I sort of came off. And this ball went right up. It's almost like covered the sun. And I was like, shit. It went up completely vertical like that. And I went, shit, like that. And it came down. And you got the fish bit. That bit went right in my hip. And just split my hip open. Yeah, that wasn't very nice. But I was pretty, immune, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And I had to go to the hospital and stuff like that. And, and I was like, I've told this story before, but I was like, oh, no. Sort of grabbed a bit of it and shit, and sort of wiped it there. So I had a little bit of this over here and everything. It was one of those moments. But you feel quite numb, don't you, when you're in the sea and all this and whatever else is going on. You're quite numb. So it was quite that wasn't a good, and you're not allowed in the sea for a while in case it gets infected, are you? So that was a bit of a bum out.
Well, Jack, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. Not just talking with you, but hanging out all day.
Yeah, no, it's
surfing
cool.
and
Yeah,
everything.
it's almost like quite interesting to be chatting to you and not try and over egg our conversation, if you know what I'm saying, isn't it? It's trying to maintain in the moment, isn't it? And
Yeah.
just we're doing, aren't we? We
Yeah,
are here,
I
aren't
hope
we?
so.
That's
Yeah.
what
I've had a
we've,
lovely day, and I've been excited about doing this
Oh,
chat
mate.
with you.
Well,
Yeah,
man. Cheers. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, lots of love to everyone's listening and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers, Chiefs.
Rock
Go
on.
check out the new Reef stuff and the Jack's new stuff and the Reef tour with re-recorded.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Happy
And
days.
thanks
Cheers,
a lot.
Jack.
Cheers.
You're an absolute legend.
I hope that was
Thank you, mate. Sorry if I didn't mean to upset you. Sorry about that, buddy.
What's that about the?
Just when you're chatting about your brother.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess that's in a way. I was having a moment, wasn't I?
Yeah,
I didn't mean to.
No,
it
it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
It showed the balance of what you had to deal with at that time in your life. It was perfect.
Yeah. I mean,
Pete, I honestly don't know. I don't know where to start. I don't really know what to say. That was like, that day was almost, it was surreal. It was unreal. And I don't know what to say. I really don't.
It was actually a pretty amazing day, wasn't it? The whole thing of like, start in the morning, we arranged to meet him and Eric and down at the Cafe Wild Time in Braunton, and we were going to go for a skate. And Jack walked into Tiki because we had to go in there to sort out some sponsorship stuff, and walked in with his broom to sweep up the bowl over behind there and knocked that broom off of every surfboard down.
It was like playing piano with a broom.
That was pretty amazing. And then, we didn't get a chance to skate because Eric said to us that day there was a wave at this time. And we were like, really? And then didn't look like anything. We've explained on that one. We went for the surf, had an amazing surf. It was about an hour and a little bit of perfect waves, like sort of, I'd say, knee to waist high waves going for that day. Was that about right? And then
3 foot.
3 foot-ish for about an hour and a half. Surfed with Jack, surfed with Eric, had an amazing time, went and had some food, and then went and recorded an episode, had a jam, and it was just a great. I remember we came out of that being like, that was awesome. The whole interview I thought was awesome. Everything about it was awesome. And now I actually get to say Jack is a mate now as well. Like, I go and see him in Cheddar. I've been to jam with him and been skating with him and stuff like that. And it's actually like an actual mate, a real cool guy. So yeah, it was just brilliant.
It was fantastic. And to break some of it down, we obviously spoke about it during the episode, but the surf was one of them days where, we ask guests a lot, what your favourite surf is, what your favourite memory of a surf was, and then is it based on what made it the best? Was it the wave you had? Was it how you surfed? Was it who you surfed with? All them sort of variables. And this was just one of them sessions where we said it at the time, it was like, this is a surf session I will remember forever. Just the four of us. It was the middle of the day, but there was a sunset happening at the same time. It was the strangest thing, which is overlaid in the main episode if you've been watching this. And it was just special. It was just straight up good vibes. We raced out wanting to be we were like, I want to get away before Jack. I want to get away before Eric. And it was just...
No, not we, you.
Yeah, okay. And then I think I just dropped in on Jack anyway. Jack called Well, Jack Bessant calls party wave. It's a goddamn party wave. And then one of us made the wave, which is even better.
Yeah.
But it was...
Man,
it was
so good. And I mean, I thought, in all seriousness, right, I thought that day you were going to be converted to a longboarder. And I mean, I think if you lived by Saunton and you surf that place all the time, I think it would be one of your options, because that wave you caught was pretty good. And I mean, not giving you compliments, because I know I don't like to give you compliments very often, but that wave you caught was a proper Saunton wave from the rocks, like right across the beach to like the other side of the hut sort of thing. It was a real good one.
No, never take away how much fun that was, because I loved that wave. I'll still remember that wave. But when I remember that, and when I think about it, I'm thinking, could I mid-length it? Could I use one of my bigger shortboards on it? Well, you say no, but I surf weak waves all the time, so I would kind of rather try and do that like that instead. So, but you're right. I would, to have the option at the same time. And if I did live there, I'm sure, and no doubt, on the right day, I probably would go out for logging sessions, because my God, was it fun. Like, it was like, you just need to go get one wave and then get out. I don't need any more.
Speaking of login sessions, you just saw what happened on my last login session. I just showed you a lovely bruise on my anus. Yeah, lovely. But man, that was such a great day. And like, even like, playing guitar with him, he's like, pick up a guitar and jamming. I just thought, what are we going to do? And jam, and like playing the Reef song, and all of that. And like, as you said to him, we've been fans from, like you said in the beginning of that episode, we've been fans from teenagers, And I mean, I think, what is he, like five or so years older, so a little bit older, and they were in that band, and at that time, I mean, like nightclubs and stuff like that song would come on, like Place Your Hands, and it just went nuts, and like everybody was dancing and stuff. It was such a good vibe, and that, and then to his stuff he's doing now, there's like loads of stuff going on. I think they've got a Reef tour coming up, and I mean, that starts, I think it starts the 5th of July, so yesterday when this comes out, and then it goes through July, and it goes right till next year. But they're playing all over the United Kingdom and Ireland, and I think they're playing in like Norway or something as well. There's like tour dates on their reeftheband.com. And so that's on. And then Jack's own stuff, he plays his own sort of stuff as well, which is he's doing a cider festival on the 30th of August. And if you go on to Jack Bessant on Instagram, he's got his link tree on there, and that'll say where he's playing. He's got his shop and stuff like that, and all that stuff on there. But I mean, his own stuff it's a totally different vibe to Reef stuff, but I really like it. And I was like jamming with him some of his songs the other night, and like just doing little things, and it's very like bluesy bass sort of stuff, and it's real cooled out, chill vibe, and I really like it. And it's there's some good stuff, as he said. He's used on Eric Davis's movies over the top of one of his things on Peacemaker. And just real good, real great episode, real good guy. And I don't know, I just can't say anything else nice about him, because he's just a real nice guy.
He really is, and gave us so much time. Him and Eric as well, to be fair. We spent the day together, all of us, and we obviously sounded like fanboys, because we are, and grew up with. Is such a sort of an influential person in music. I didn't even know he surfed until a few years ago, and I think actually it was you that had mentioned it. And to just end up back at his place, like you say, and that happened, and just sitting jamming, and then he busts out that song. Everything was surreal. And what I really do remember, because I happen to have had the little DJI Pocket set up filming, because we've been trying to film the setups of the episodes, when we get to the guest's place of recording, just to show some behind the scenes. So that was already filming, and I got my phone out when you two started playing guitar, not really expecting anything, and then you went into place your hands, and it was like, oh my God, this is actually insane that this is happening. It was just really cool. So afterwards, when we left, you knew that was on film on my phone, and you were like, send me that, and I dragged it out for so long not sending you it. And then when I finally sent you it, honestly, for about 2 days, in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, all I would hear is me like belting out the chorus at the point I joined in, and then you just listening to it over and over and over and over. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool thing to happen. I mean, I don't know what else you can say about that. It's just mental. But, man, that was so good. So, thanks, Jack. And, I mean, we've got a lot of other news to get through as well. So we will crack on with that. And if you want, as we say, go on reef.com and Jack Bessant. You can go and see them, catch their music, buy their gear, and, just support them, because it's a great band, great guys. And, and shout out to Amy as well, because Amy was... it was Amy's guitar that I was using on that thing. She plays guitar in Reef now as well, and nice, lovely lady.
Do you think there's a spot there for you now to like be the stand-in guitarist?
No.
I agree.
I agree as well.
You're pretty snazzy on guitar, to be fair. Fair play to you.
I play chords and stuff. That's it. Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
Surfs.
So, what have we got to talk about? Have we got to talk about? Like, we got surfs. I got bruises on my ass. Let's start at my Poles F. I went to Poles F last Sunday of recording this now, so whatever date that was, it was the day before, or the day before the day I put up a Poles F video on our Instagram. But man, that was fun. That was the first time of like paddling out on the longboard for a while and being like getting on a wave and looking up and being like, it's like over my head.
Yeah,
I think at points there was like 6 to 8 foot wave faces. So I'm going on like faces. I don't know what size we're calling it, but like wave faces. UK Surf Show will do a blog at some point about those wave sizes or what we think they are. But man, yeah. So the first wave, I had trouble. There was like a few coming through that were like weaker, and I was like paddling into them and that.
What were you riding?
Not my 9.4 custom firm Origin surfboards. So yeah, and I was paddling into a few and it just didn't feel like there was any power in them. And then a few would come through and they'd be like really steep and then they'd have the power. So it was like a really steep like drop in. So I dropped in on one, bottom turn and trimmed across, and the wave was like next to me, and then that broke and I jumped off to like kick the board out from underneath me because the wave had broken and I was in front of it, because they were like partly, some of them were going left and right and some of them were like a bit closey out. Anyway, this one came down, kicked the board out, the board just didn't move, so I just fucking ass dropped onto the back of the longboard. And man, that bruise on my ass is a lovely. I mean, I'm tempted to show it on camera now if people want to see that. But you know, I don't want to lose listeners and viewers just for that. But yeah, so that's a nasty one. And then about 2 or 3 waves after that, I got caught by a wave, which is probably, I'd say, the closest to dying I've ever been in the surf. So I'm paddling back out and I've gone over this wave and I thought I've made it, as in it's felt cleared, like I've cleared the top of the back, and all of a sudden it's just grabbed me and gone, fuck you, bang, and slammed me so fucking hard. Like, it's so obviously, you know, it's pulled back over on these 6 to 8 foot faces, dumped me down, the board's wrapped around me, it's hit me in the ass again, so I don't know if it's that one or which one's caused the bruise. It's then sort of tornadoed around my body, and the fins sliced across my leg and gouged me in the inside of my leg, next to my little Pete. And then literally the board's gone all around me, and I've had the calf leash on that Brad gave me.
Yeah.
And that's actually, the board's yanked so hard that's ripped off my calf and gone down, and it's loose on the bottom of my ankle, and that's the only thing that coming off is, I think, because it was holding me down and dragging me, and I was just getting held down. I felt like I was running out of breath. That came loose, and I came up, and the board was right next to me, and I was like, what, like defeated. I was like, no, I'm going in, and I paddled in and caught some waves like closer in for a bit, and I was just like, that really like. That freaked me, that did. And that was probably one of the worst I've had in a very long time. But to that point where I thought I could feel I was in the like foamy white water bit, but I couldn't get up to get a breath. And I was a bit like, that little bit of panic. And that doesn't normally happen to me. As I say, normally I'm pretty chilled. I'm pretty like, and that was the first time I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. Like, for a very, very long time that I've been like that. So yeah, that was an experience.
Is that the first time you didn't want to just give up the way you normally do? I've got something to live for.
maybe life's better now, and I just don't want to give up all the time when I go under. You know, could be that.
You're just happy for it to end.
So yeah.
That's probably what it was. Now you've got a reason, Pete. Now you can, Pete. You can jump.
Oh man!
I had a speaking of just horrible wipeouts. I got really lucky last night, and I mean, it could have been better, could have been worse. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it depends how you define luck. But I was having a surf in manoeuvres, and I was just trying to really refine some turns, like top turns specifically. And I was trying to come a little bit more off the bottom. Like, I think I'm guilty of not really doing a proper bottom turn prior to a top turn. I'm more kind of coming up the face at too much of an angle as opposed to trying to come straight up it. And I was trying to work on that, and I came up right, and I'd done started off like a really nice top turn. I was trying to be quite aggressive, compressed, but push the tail with my back foot, like try and get some spray, and then try my best not to look at the spray if there was any spray. And I say spray, probably splash more than spray.
Yeah.
But my front foot in the middle of the turn just slipped off my board, and just because I guess where I was, it made me like just whole body pencil dove straight off the board.
Yeah.
But on the way down, my hip bone, like on the left side, just hit the rail, right? It's sort of touched now, but it wasn't enough to be like, oh my God. But I was like, ooh, fuck. And I thought, if that had hit that a little bit harder, I reckon that was probably a snapped hip. Or, you know, like I wasn't not walking today. I've never had that before. But there was like almost a sequence of little things like that. Like there was I think I swallowed water just paddling back out. You know, like sometimes you go up over a lip, like nonchalant as you like, and you just happen to be taking an in-breath. You're like, the fuck did I do that? Like, what a stupid bastard. How have I done that? But it was just loads of little things like that. It was weird last night in that session.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you're like, I should just get out now, actually, because like that one I was saying, I've got cuts on my toes as well, and I was like, how the fuck have I got cuts on my toes? And the only thing I can think of is that's that wipeout, which the board was just literally, it was like wrapping around me like a tornado. But that hitting your hip on it, that's what happened to me. The rail hit me in the face when my side of my face swelled up, but it didn't leave a decent bruise like it's left on my ass. But man, it's like it hurts so bad. Like when I did that one on my face, I checked my teeth straight away. I was like, oh fuck, I've lost teeth, you know.
Well, it's bad. I stacked one on. I don't know if anyone else does this if they surf at wave pools, but I stacked one on takeoff, which I've not done that often, which is quite nice. And I went straight under it, and it wasn't the first wave; it was the second wave, because then you're immediately in the heaviest, worst part of that wall of water that's coming at you, and it's so turbulent. There's so much water moving, and it's super shallow water, and obviously you're pretty close to the wall as well. So on the second one, I mean, you can't duck dive it. But you're worried about you don't want to let go of your board because that leash is going to throw it and it's slamming the wall. So the thing that I've started doing is when I'm in that position is I stand at the back of my board facing the beach, and I basically hold the rear of my board from the tail pad. I use it like, the ridge on the back, and I kind of hold it in front of me. So I know it's not going to hit me, and I know it's not going to hit the wall. But it done that, and I went on a full tumble with the board, and I don't know how, I just knew I was getting closer to the wall. And obviously, the board was quite hard to keep hold of, it was so turbulent. And my hands ended up somehow on the fins. And I used them H4 fins, which, if you don't know, they're made like in a clean room. They're made from like fucking, I don't know, adamantium, which is what Wolverine's bones are made from, like straight up fucking steel. But I was actually holding the fins, and I could feel both myself and the board getting closer to the wall, but I'm underwater. And it's like, why am I putting so much effort into protecting my board from the wall and not me? But I just wonder if anyone else does that, because I'm like, I will put my body between me and the board for the board not to hit the wall. It's quite funny that.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Like that thing, that's what I did at the wave when I had that the tiki board, and I put myself in between the board and the wall, and then I thought I was further away from the wall, so I turned, but the wall was like right there. So as I turned with the board, I just went like that. So really, I need to turn the other way. That brings us on to the wave actually. So that closed and reopened, and man, that was a bit of a few days, wasn't it? With what was going on. I don't know what was going on. It's I didn't see it. No, of course you didn't.
Talking about it.
Yeah, but no, man, that was. I'm glad it's reopened. I'm glad all the staff are still there and everything like that, because I suppose that's the worrying thing about something like that. You've got the amount of staff that jobs in surfing. Well, look at yourself, like Lost Shore. How stoked you are to have that job in surfing, the way you can do that, and like half the staff at the wave have got to be the same. And one, to have not only your income taken away from you unexpectedly. Oh yeah. Two, your passion taken. It's like losing everything, isn't it? Your passion and your job at the same time.
No,
so
totally,
they must have been shitting it, and I'm glad they're all right, and I'm glad it's reopened again as we're recording now. So yeah. Yeah,
we wish you guys all the best, and we hope you make it work, whatever's going on. Not our business, but for everyone working there, you guys paved the way. You're the first to to do it. First Waveguard and Cove technology on the planet. They kind of set the way for everyone else. So wishing you all the best and hope everything gets back up and running.
Yeah, cool. What else we got to talk about? Oh man, I've had so many conversations with people.
I went west. Go
Oh,
west.
you did, didn't you? What did you go there for?
Wild surfing.
Yeah, but tell us why. Because it's your redemption spot, isn't it?
Yeah. So
and what happened last
there.
time you went to your redemption
No,
spot?
it wasn't
Let's
the
go
last
there
time, was
first.
it? Well, the last time
All
we
right.
went there, it was the redemption, which was the redemption. So for those of you that don't know, I've got Crohn's disease. Don't feel sorry for me. Pete
I don't.
certainly doesn't. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, and I for 12 years I've had Crohn's, and then I've had flare-ups every year, and generally for 4 months of the year, and without giving you too much horrible gory details, I will start to crap blood for up to 40 times a day. Generally it's between 30 and 40 times a day. Can't even pass wind without bleeding. So someday with a bowel disease, you can imagine I need to I need to pass wind more than normal, and I can't even do that without bleeding. But normally it takes a sort of 2-month period for it to build up to the losing control of my bowels, not being able to stop it. This one came on really quick, my man period, and actually 2.5 weeks ago, and already I'm losing control of my bowels. So I went to what we're now calling the redemption spot, because there's been no swell anywhere here. It's been horrendous, and I saw the swell. There's been loads of wind, but it looked surfable, it looked decent. And if anybody saw my stories, you see that first night was ridiculous, but it was solid wind on the first night. So there's no pun intended between the two stories. But I was like, do you know what?
I was waiting to drop in that you're full of shit anyway. So
well, the thing is, I'm not. I'm full of blood. So yeah. So I was like, do you know what? Before this gets that bad that I can't go away in the van, because I just can't control how often I need the toilet. And when I went the second last time, because the last time was when I went back and kind of had the redemption and there was no problems. But the last flare up I had, it must have been about 2 and a bit years ago, whatever it was, and it was a really bad one. And I needed to surf. I needed to ocean surf. And I had remembered that when I had been there not long before that, in the car park you stay in at the beach, there was a portaloo that obviously gets put there in the summer because it gets quite busy. Not for surfers, but it gets busy as a car park. And I was like, well, that will still be there, so I'm happy to go, and I've got access to a toilet all the time. Clearly I got there and the thing wasn't there, and it was brutal, and I was having to go to what we would call a shovel recce in the army, and surface labour and dig it in and whatever, and again without gory details. But on like what wasn't supposed to be the last day, I was on my way to go to the spot to go toilet, and I got completely caught short. It came on even stronger. Can't control it, can't stop it, and I literally had to drop my boardies on what was basically like a podium at the end of the beach. It was the only thing that was missing was a backlit curtain and a fucking announcement, like an MC going, and here we have, and I'm just sat on the beach.
Scott Schitchell.
I just stood on the beach like crap and blood all over it, and all these people looking at me like fucking hell, all over myself. And I literally walked in the water, cleaned myself up, like walked in the freezing cold ocean, cleaned myself up, got in my van and fucked off home. Went back, had the redemption surf, had a really good surf as a result. But it was the first time where I had a sense of humour failure, even though we laughed about it. At the time, because it affected my surfing, I had to leave early. Like I had a proper sense of humour failure about it. So it's actually the reason why I changed my van, was knowing that if I have another flare up, I've got
because it stank.
Would be the first time I had a toilet issue, would it, in that van? So that's why I got the high top, the man. I got a man because I wanted to be able to bleed in it. I wanted to be able to bleed in a man. It's a VW Crafter, if you're wondering what I'm on about. But I wanted to be able to put a proper toilet in it. So, which I haven't done yet because I'm still converting it. But I went over on the Monday. The surf was so good, man. It was super peaky. It was quite hard. You just had to be in the right place at the right time. I got lucky on a couple, but even on the very quick race tracks, because I was just in bad position. Like I was really happy with the turns and stuff I was trying to do before I was then just kicking out or whatever. So it was really good just to be away, switch off, not think about work, not think about anything, just be in the van and surf. But then I'm still having to run to the toilet all the time. And yeah, it was the day I was leaving anyway, but I'd planned on actually editing this episode. I'd started doing it, just in the sort of quiet space of the beach. You can see the beach out the window. It's just a nice place to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got caught short. Like, actually, I got caught short twice, but got away with it. But then I got caught short properly. It was actually almost the same. And I was walking down, and I felt it come on strong, and then I started running past the spot where I'd had the horrendous experience the time before, thinking, oh, not again, please not again. But I managed to get beyond it, and I got to a spot where if you were in the squat position, which clearly you need to be, and that's the position we're designed to be in to do a crap, nobody could see you, right? And here's the testament and the relevance to Alan Bissiker, our Olympic strength and air conditioning coach, because I had to squat so deep, right, that it would have absolutely annihilated my legs for the amount of time I was there, right? And the reason I know that is because I've not been on Alan's program. So there was a couple of points I just had to stand up tall and let the lactic acid get out of my legs because my thighs were burning, absolutely burning. So yeah, did I have a sense of humour failure about it again? Yes, I did. But I got over it pretty quick because it wasn't like that. It's the same sort of public one as it was. I'd had my surfs. But it's more, I think it's hard because I know what's coming, but it's never came on this quick before. And I'm in such a different environment being in the Civvy Street at Lost Shore, you know, not in the army where I know it's just different. I know the environment so well when I was in the army, I know everything about everything that's going on in that way. So it's just like, it's a bit of a weird thing, but again, a testament to how important surfing is for me to go hand in hand. So that's why I was over there. Cut short again.
That's lovely. Thanks. Anyway, moving on.
You've been desperate to do that. You fucking loser.
Only since that one you sent me when it was like I can't remember what it was when you were like saying like and I've been singing because I was depressing and I was how depressed I've been and I'm just like whatever, moving on. Man, we've also I'm glad you're all right. Actually, I'm glad you managed to surf and shit yourself and shit in your wetsuit and whatever you do. It's your story to tell. You tell your truth, man. But we've got other fish. We've got like Boardmasters and Rising Tide Fest we're going to be at, which is on the 6th to the 10th of August. So we're going to be down at Boardmasters down then, aren't we? And we're going to be at the Surf and Skate Expo down in Cornwall again on the 12th to 14th of September. We're also going to be in Cornwall the week before that, doing our weekly episodes of going around all over Cornwall, recording with different people and stuff like that. So we were hoping to go to Ireland this time, but it looks like we're going to have to bump that again because we're there for the Surf Skate Expo, and it just makes sense. Also really cool, they just announced Tony Alva's coming, so I'm super stoked. You're probably oblivious to who that is, but
entirely. I know he's a skating legend, and if I was to make a guess, he probably would really put skateboarding on the map, I suspect.
Yeah, California, Dogtown, Tony Alva. Yeah, also Sean Thompson's going to be there as well, so that's mega as well. So tickets are free for that as well, the Surf and Skate Expo.
I'm stoked about that because I love wrestling.
You're a fucking idiot. You're literally, you don't know anyone in surfing. Before, literally 10 years ago when you started, that's the only time you know anything about from surfing. For anything before 10 years ago, you're useless.
Nobody surfed before 10 years ago.
You're a fucking knobend, honestly. Yeah. And also, we got reached out by Mr. B, who's doing the UK Pro Surf Tour movie, and he's got a crowdfunder at the moment to get the final bit of it done. And it's crowdfunder.co.uk /P/UK-pro-surf.movie, or you can go search for UK Surf Pro movie and you'll find the crowdfunder. But the crowdfunder basically talks about it's for the film, it's dedicated to running of the tour stops that happened around the UK and the way it works and all the way it worked, and it looks actually quite interesting. I've been reading some bits and pieces on it, but I won't go into the whole thing now because there's a massive spiel about it on the crowdfunder website, but go and have a look at that, and that's well worth getting behind. I think they're trying to raise 10 grand to get the film finished, and they're at the moment they're at £6,000, so £4,000 left to go. And that. So yeah, like we say though, Tiki supported the show, supported the Devon trips and everything, and they're still a show sponsor now, and they've got a wicked load of stuff. We've got a discount code for them as well. They've still got a passenger sale on.
They've got a 30%. Yes, they have 30% on passenger sale on some lines. Tell you what, in other news with Tiki, probably relevant to your style of surfing, the Stock and Skin and Dog surfboards, which is pretty epic. I
know they're stocking skin. I can't even say it. Check it out. Yeah, how do I know? But also, Matt sent me a message about they've got the amped boards in stock now as well, which was the one that got sent up to you, which you weren't allowed to talk about, and you're now allowed to talk about, which they've changed. So there's no point you talking about it because you don't know what it's about. But they've got them, and he said, out of my new style of surfing, that he would like me to take one of them out and try it as well. So to me, that translates as he'd like me to smash that up at the Bristol Wave. So I'm more than willing to try that, because the other one should be repaired now as well. So I'll have that back to Wapa on the Bristol Wave.
The Bristol Wave. It's just the Wave. That's the brand name is the Wave. It's called the Wave. I don't know why you say the Bristol Wave. But anyway, if you take that amped board, you will need one for each foot. Remember what happened when you duck dove somebody's board the other way? No, sorry. When you went to pop up. You went to pop up and you literally done
I duck dived on the front of the wave. I've never duck dived dropping in before. It's amazing.
You need 2 amps.
But yeah, no, that's cool. But yeah, if you want 10% off at Tiki, use the discount code UKSurfPod, and that will get you 10% off at Tiki.
Yeah, and if you want to get 15% off surf and accommodation at Low Shore, use the discount code UK Surf Show, and that'll get you 15% off your surfs or your accommodation.
Yep, and 10% off Surface Wetsuits. UK Surf Show 24 will get you 10% off anything you order from Surface Wetsuits.
Make sure
I think
you go check out Jack Bessant, absolute legend. Drop him a like, drop him a comment, do all of that social media stuff.
Yeah,
he's just a super nice guy. Super nice.
And while you're on that, 86% of you that have watched this, if you're still watching, haven't subscribed on YouTube. 86%.
What?
Yeah. Should do this at the beginning. Chuck this in at the beginning. 86%. Hit the subscribe button now. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah, but yeah, check them out. Yeah. Please like me. Yeah, cool. So check out Jack. Go check out Reef. If you haven't heard of Reef, where have you been? If you haven't heard of Jack, where have you been? And yeah, cool. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's all we've got to say. Next time we'll say other stuff.
About similar subjects. See ya.
Bye.
Oh, it's so nice that fire in it, bro.
Oh, it's so nice.
Run your fingers through my soul. All right now. The way that I feel right now. Oh Lord, here we go. So bless your hands on my home. Run your fingers through my soul. Yeah, bro. All right now. The way that we feel right now. Oh Lord, it may go. Put your hands out. 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 your hands on. Put your hands on. Put your soul, lay me down for a while. Join my body with my mind. I cried at the common wall for weeks after he died. Put your hands on, put your hands on, woman. Put your hands on, put your hands on. 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 Feel right now, oh Lord, put your hands on, put your hands on. Put your hands on, put your hands on. Put your hands on, put your hands on. Yeah, bro. Put your hands on, put your hands on. Yeah!
I actually got a shiver.
Rocker.
Yes.
That's good
That was fun.
Oh my god. Can't believe that just happened.
Lovely
That's
to sing
so
together.
good.
Lovely to